Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hope you're all doing great today. I'm Brian Jones, and I'm a trainer in heartfulness, meditation, and I've been doing meditation for a really long time, most of my life. And, it's a great practice, and that's what I'm here to talk about. I talk about meditation and things spiritual and other topics as well. So, before I get started into today's topic, I just want to say that this past weekend was really very special for my wife and I. We got to visit our daughter and our granddaughter and son-in-law and grandkids, and our granddaughter graduated from college on Saturday, and our grandson graduated from high school on Saturday. So we had two big graduation ceremonies in one day, which was really great. And they were both so unique and beautiful in their own way. And I think, in particular, I think the one for the high school was almost done entirely by the students themselves. And they did such a great job. They incorporated all kinds of music and live performance, and it was just beautifully done. So anyway, the reason I'm talking about this is just to brag on that a little bit, but also to say that one of the quotes that came out, and this was in the high school ceremony, was just so profound, and I want to share it with you. Okay, so I'm going to read it. And this is a quote by Mark Twain. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Wow. It's great. Because really, I think for most of us, there's a search, deep down inside of our heart. We're searching, we're looking for something. Even if we have, some happiness in life and we have some success, very often, even people who are successful, they still are, looking for something deeper, something profound. In fact, just the other day, someone was maybe my wife was telling me that it was Oprah Winfrey. Of course, she's a billionaire, and Oprah Winfrey was saying that the one thing she didn't realize was that when you become rich and famous, your problems don't go away. And I thought, oh, that makes so much sense. We can't solve the problem of the heart with fame or fortune. That we have to solve by going within and sort of purifying that heart, because the heart is the seat of our conscience. The heart is the seat of love. The heart is the seat of our life. And in heartfulness meditation, it's the place where we meditate. So that brings me around to the topic of today. I'm going to talk about divine light and why do we meditate on divine light in the heart. So first, I'd like to start off with, why do we have anything as an object of meditation? There are many types of meditation. And some of these meditations are, for example, you just sit and watch your thoughts. You become a witness to your thoughts. And, eventually your thoughts are supposed to settle down and, you get into a meditative state. So that's a type of meditation. Even when we're sitting around, just looking out the window, pondering, maybe whatever, that's also a type of meditation. So there's a lot of different types of meditation, but why would we have an object for meditation? Well, here's the thing. The reason we meditate is we're using the mind to retrain itself to become an effective tool. Let me say that again. We're using the mind to retrain itself to become an effective tool. So that's what we're doing in meditation. Okay, so in order for us to train the mind, well, the mind, it's, as we all know, it's all over the place. I mean, we're thinking all the time, right? And anytime a thought catches our attention and we just focus on it for a split second, that becomes magnified and that becomes our predominant thought. And so this is what the mind is doing continuously. So, in order to train the mind, we need to give it focus. And I'll give you an example. Imagine someone who wants to become a world-class archer. Okay. Well, just think if all their training is just to shoot arrows, up into the sky. Well, no skill would develop, right? No skill would develop because there's no objective, there's no target. So for someone who wants to become a world-class archer, you have to have a target. And within that target, we have the outer rings, and then we have all the way to that little small dot in the middle, which is, that's the real goal, the center of that target. And by practicing in that way, then you become skilled. So this is exactly why we have an object of meditation in this practice, is because we're going to become skilled in meditation. And our mind will naturally become more focused. And eventually we form a natural type of concentration that comes to us. So this is what we do. So in Heartfulness, we meditate on something kind of abstract, actually. It's the divine light in the heart. We meditate on divine light in the heart. So what does this mean? I mean, light itself is abstract enough because we can't really see light. We only see light when it's shining on an object. If we look up into the sky at night, we see those pinpoint stars up there. But if you think about it, the entire sky, though appearing black, is completely filled with light everywhere, but we can't see it. So when we want to connect with the subtlest thing within us, that invisible, nameless, formless, attributeless conscience, or sometimes we say the master within. It's the subtlest thing. And if you think about light, wow, that is the subtlest thing, because it's there and we feel the effects and we benefit from the effects, and the effects cause growth. But do we really see it? No. So this is one of the reasons why one of the founders of our meditation practice, Babaji, he said that this idea of light was the subtlest thing without making it too concrete, because we shouldn't meditate on something that's a solid. We don't want to meditate on a solid form or a solid idea. We need to take up the most subtlest, most nebulous thing. So he said that light was the best expression of that. Okay. Now, what's with this word divine? I mean, depending on the person, this word has a lot of different connotations. Okay. For a religious person, divine, divinity, it often represents, the Lord or the God or Son of God, or, it represents something that we know as the Creator. We give it so many different names, and that we can say is a divine thing. Or someone who's a great saint, we might say they're a divine being, or a real spiritual master, we might say they're a divine being. Okay, so this word divine or divinity, it denotes our highest ideal. It's our highest ideal for ourselves. It doesn't really have to have any religious overtones to it. We can just think, okay, the divine, yes, it's not my highest ideal. And it's a beautiful word when we think about it from that perspective. So now we've got the divine, we've got the light, now we've got divine light. Okay, so now we are actually, in a way, in a very subtle way, we are elevating the idea of light to being divine. So light itself is our subtlest divine goal within. Isn't it beautiful? It's so great. I love that so much. So we can't understand what divine or divinity really is. We can't see light. So this is something that's very abstract. And yet this is something specific that we meditate on. So when we close our eyes, we bring our attention to the area of the heart. And by the way, we're going to do this and we're going to meditate together in a little while. So we bring our attention to the area of the heart. And we just have this subtle thought that we're just resting there on this divine light that's already present in the heart. So do we have to imagine a light? No. Do we have to imagine something divine? No. We just have this subtle idea that it's there because really it's the source of our life. So that's why we meditate on this idea of divine light in the heart. All right, now, what other meaning does it have? Well, if I want to take it from the cosmic perspective, in the Bible it said, that God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And light was the foundation of all creation. And if we think of light, isn't it a soundless vibration? Very often we hear about the soundless sound. What is the soundless sound? It's light. Yes. So, by looking at it this way, as spiritual beings having a human experience, as I say very often, this expression, as spiritual beings having a human experience, we really began as beings of light. There was light, and that is the essence and source of this creation. And, very often when we get into metaphysics, we think of the soul or we think the subtle body. These are things that, are very close to this idea of light. So I want to share a personal experience with you all because you know that I do that. I'm all about sharing my experiences because it's real. I could talk from book knowledge, but is it, have I experienced it? No, so that's why I do this. So here's the story. Last year, it's been about over a year now, I went through some health issues that were really pretty major. But to shorten this story, I'm going to say that I was given a particular medicine to try. And if I took this medicine, the idea was that it might indicate what was going on with me. So I didn't know much about this medication. Well, they put me on it. And at first I felt like I was 20 years old and had boundless energy. I felt amazing. But then about 3 days in, it started to have some real severe effect on me. I mean, I was just weeping uncontrollably for no reason, 20 times a day. And it's known to do that. It's known to have severe effect. But then it got very, very, very severe and very drastic. And, I found out later that I had probably a 1 in 10,000 reaction to the medicine. And it was just a horrible experience for me. But here's what I want to share. At the peak of this stuff that was going on for me, I was so distraught that I just wanted to sit down and meditate. And so I sat down in my chair. I closed my eyes and I just thought of the masters. I thought of Daji. I thought of Babuji, Chariji. I was really longing for help. And I started going really deep into the meditation very, very, very fast. I went really deep and I was suddenly just gone. But I wasn't gone for long because suddenly I woke up and I was in this amazing, beautiful ocean of light, an endless, infinite ocean of divine light. It was magnificent. And the amazing thing is that I was so aware in that place that I actually looked to see, how am I here? And I looked to see, what is my body? And I even had the thought come to me, I must have a body of light. But when I looked to see this body of light and how I was here, there was no body. None. I was only light. And yet I had complete awareness. Now, I also felt very clearly that Babuji, one of our guides, I knew that he was the source of this, what I was experiencing, and that, I felt that I was moving towards him in this ocean of light. And I heard him tell me something, and I can't tell you what it is, but he told me something very specific, and it completely related to everything I was going through at that time. And it helped me a lot. So that was my experience. And I think that's one of the most profound experiences that I've ever had on this journey to the divine light. And I'll share something else, is that, about 6-8 months later, Daji had released a message called the Beam of Love. And in this message, he talks about that. He talks about that we are riding on this beam of love and light, really. Isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? So what are we really? We think we're just this body of flesh and bones that ages and, grows older. We're not that. Not at all. This is our temporary vehicle while we journey through this physical plane. But beyond this, there's many other subtler forms that we embody in, or are already embodied in. So that's what I wanted to share. Fantastic. Okay, so I want to also read something just a minute before I went live today. I just happened to have one of Babaji's books as volume 4, Complete Works of Ramchandra, volume 4. And, as I often do, I'm not a cover-to-cover guy. I open the book and whatever is going to come to me comes to me. And so here, I just want to read this. It's so, so nice. This is Babaji giving an answer to someone who had sent him a letter. So this is Babaji's answer. We cannot describe or define God. In case we do so, we start comparing him with other things. It is absurd. Therefore, we can only describe him in negative terms, such as not this, nati, nati, nati. Okay. You say, when he says you say, he's addressing the person who wrote him the letter. You say, life is a veil of sorrow to those who are not gifted with spiritual light. Truly, it is so. Spiritual light is needed to awaken a man to the consciousness of self, capital S. So far as the real self is concerned, there is none high and low, or great and small. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to check now. I'm going to check the chats that I get. And for those of you on Instagram, I really apologize. I don't get your chats. I'm going to work out those technical issues so that I can in the future. But some people have said hello here through YouTube or Facebook. And let's see, Santosh, hi, Swaroop, Prem, Bhaskar, Meena, Marilyn Murray. And here someone is asking a question. Let me just see this. Oh, Thierry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, says, Brian, why does the Heartfulness YouTube channel keep mixing Hindi and English and Sanskrit in one channel? Okay, I can't answer that. I don't know. I'm not one of the technical people. You're going to have to contact them. Okay, but then you ask me in a separate post, you say, was sound before light? I don't know. I don't know. In Christianity, it says, let there be light, but then we read other scriptures talking about Om, talking about Shabad, the soundless sound. So, what can we say? Is it important to know? I think just the fact that we know that one, we could say it's vibrationless sound. Okay, so that's one thing. So we can't hear it because if there's a sound in space, because there's no air, you can't hear the sound. I don't know if most of you maybe know that. So, and the other thing about light is we can't see it. So I'm just, I don't know if I have any kind of answer for that. We'll have to wait and see. I saw the Ocean of Light. Now that was really great. So I highly recommend that. All right, everyone. So look, it's time that we want to meditate together, and we're going to meditate on this source of light. Now, very often you hear us say we meditate on the source of light in the heart. And that's an important distinction too, because, yes, we can meditate on divine light in the heart. It's a beautiful thought, but really we're moving towards the source. And it almost relates to what you just asked, what this question was, sound before light or light before sound. If we think about it as the source, and it's the source of the light, it's the source of the sound, it's the source of our life, of our existence, then really that's the answer, because can we know what the source is? I'm not sure. We maybe become that source and we experience it. All right. I will come back. There's a couple more questions. I'll come back to those after our meditation because I really want to meditate now together. I'm feeling that. So I want you to all sit comfortably. We're going to meditate together for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the most. So do sit comfortably and, sit so that if you need to have your back supported, sit in a chair or sit up against some pillows or something. If you can sit on the floor, that's great too. So in this heartfulness practice, we utilize what is called yogic transmission. This is another thing. Can we see it? No. Uh, is it light? Is it sound? What is it? Well, it's a soundless sound in a way, but it is the subtlest essence that we receive. And it's really coming from a dimension above our material dimension. It's something that's from the source itself. And in this practice, we utilize yogic transmission, and it helps us connect to the source, and it helps us to easily still the mind. The mind welcomes it, and the mind becomes very calm. And we can go very deep into meditation. So if you're new to this, if you feel that you're sitting here and maybe perchance your head is starting to, to go down, you might think you're falling asleep, or you may try and keep your head up. It's okay. You can just let your head relax and go deep into the meditation. Okay, so let's get started. Let's close our eyes. And let's start by taking a slow, deep breath in. And let it go. Feel your arms are completely relaxed and just resting in your lap. Let your shoulders drop down. Very gently bring your attention to the area of your heart. And let your awareness rest there. So now let's rest on the source of light that's already present deep within our heart. And feel that source is inviting you deep within. It's drawing you inwards. Let's stay with this thought. That's all. Please remain with your eyes closed. Now I'd like you to imagine that this deep spiritual state is being absorbed in every particle of our being. And now I'd like you to feel this consciousness expanding within you and expanding all around you. Okay, so as you open your eyes, just maintain this feeling. Just feel that this beautiful inner condition is going to carry you forward through the rest of your day. And you can slowly open your eyes. Okay. So we're going to wrap up the session here in a moment, but I'm just going to check in with all of you. I'm so happy you were joining in today. And let's say someone asked, there's Preeti, hi Preeti, Rita, Pankaj, Kavita, and someone has asked, Deepika, I've asked this question before, hoping for something from you. Well, I'm sorry. Do we have a hierarchy in love? Sometimes parents need more love than the children. Well, look, love is love. Light is light. Is there more or less light if we become that light? You see? So I tell you from my experience something is that if I am loving or if I am receiving love, what is the difference? So very often we get, and it's a real need, and I understand you. I understand that we need to feel love as human beings. But there's not a more or less per se. When we really need to feel love and we're not feeling it, or if there's no place that we feel we're receiving it from, You close your eyes and go within and feel that divine love is with you. And you will see that that will start to percolate up from deep within. And I want to share something about this. One time we were sitting with Master Chariji around the campfire. We were down in our ashram in Atlanta late in the evening. And we were just sitting around. It was so peaceful, and the stars were overhead. It was just beautiful. And one young woman said to Chariji, she said, "Master, do you feel our love for you?" And without hesitating, he said, "No, I only feel my master's love." Wow. Everybody talked about this for 3 days afterwards. How profound is that? You know, because at a human level, we all want Master to recognize us. We want him to feel our love. But really, it makes so much sense. Aren't we the recipients? We ourselves are the recipients of the divine love. Okay, Monica and Sridhar and Jayakumar, Rajesh Ramesh, hey, hi. Radha, Preeti, Vijaya. Okay, thank you all so much. Yogesh, thank you all. I'm so grateful that you take the time from your evening or day and spend some time with me. I feel you. I do. So, all the best until next week, here, same time on Mondays. All the best. And you know what I always say to all of you? I say, stay with the heart and all will be well. All the best, everybody. Bye now.